I know you all have heard the saying that you can't take everybody with you. And that is so very true. And today, on my day 2 of my unedited videos, I'm going to talk just very briefly about that. You can't take everybody with you. I know, I'll use me for an example. I started my YouTube, I stopped my YouTube, and I did that off and on for a while. I guess because, I was, working on Facebook, doing this on Facebook, and on Facebook I had more traction, right? That's what it seemed like, right? So I was working on, I guess, one at a time instead of just working on both of them. But let's move past that. And I built an audience, almost 17,000 people on Facebook, just being my authentic self, just being me. So on YouTube, I didn't really want to put in the effort. That was kind of like the thing. On Facebook, I just shot from the hip. I didn't do a lot of editing. I didn't do anything. I just shot from the hip, and it just grew. So on YouTube, I felt like I had to do a lot of editing. I felt like I had to do a lot of this. It was gonna be a lot. It was gonna be more time consuming. It was gonna be. Yeah, I just didn't want to do it. So I finally sat down and God spoke to me, and I was like, you know what? I really want to give this a full shot. And this is where it came to my dilemma. I was like, I really want to give this a full shot. I built an audience on Facebook, it shouldn't be that hard. Y'all, it has been that hard, you know, because I went into it with the mindset of I already have an audience on Facebook, and blah blah blah. Just pull my audience from Facebook. So I went on Facebook. I was like, okay, I'm trying to do this on YouTube. Thinking I was gonna get some support and some traction. Yeah, let me just be very, very honest with you. And this is where I go into everybody can't go with you and everybody won't go with you. Out of 17,000, almost 17,000 followers that I have on Facebook, I may have had it's a hard stretch for me to say 20. It's a hard stretch. They go right past it. They don't like it. They don't share it. They don't do anything. And that was hard for me at first, but it was a reality check for me. I built an audience on Facebook, but that audience is not equipped to follow me over here in YouTube doing what it is that I do on YouTube. They're just not. They are where they are. And I felt like, oh well, at least 100 people. Mm-mm. It's a hard stretch for me to say 20. Okay, so I had it set in my mind the same thing I had to tell other people. I had to tell myself, everybody ain't gonna go with you. Everybody's not gonna follow you wherever you go. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta do it, and you gotta do it scared. You gotta do it alone. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta start from scratch, and you gotta build that audience from scratch yourself. All right? I'll even go into one of the things I always say. Your regardless people. See, on Facebook and other social media sites, I had a lot of family. I had a lot of friends. I call those your regardless people. I call those people regardless because regardless, they gonna be around in your life. They don't feel like there's anything extra they gotta do to be a part of your life. When the season is plentiful for you, they're gonna sit right down to the table because they got a seat already at your table, regardless of anything that they do. So regardless whether they support you or not. I call those your regardless people. And believe it or not, your regardless people are gonna do the less. They're going to do the less to support you. And it's going to sting and it's going to hurt the worst when you trying to do something and they just scroll right past it. All of your cousins, all of your friends. And you got to do it and you like, dog, I wish I just had some family members. I wouldn't be so scared to do it. But God got you right where he needs you to be. God is preparing you for your audience. And believe it or not, beloveds, believe it or not, stars, your audience may not be your family and your friends, and neither your regardless people. You got to go out there in a foreign land, and you got to build that thing from scratch. And you can't be fearful. And see, that was me. I was fearful of it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't want to speak in front of people. I'm super country. That's number one. And number two, I grew up with a strong speech impediment where I could barely talk. I spent years in speech. I spent years of not wanting to speak in the front of people. But now God has placed it in my heart to where I speak. I spent a lot of time writing because I was like, I just don't, I write an article, but I ain't trying to talk to nobody because, in fear, hiding behind what we would all consider to be a disability. But it's amazing how God will take a disability, or he'll take a speech impediment, or he'll take something else and draw in people using that same very thing that you felt like is a weakness for you or weakness for me. So while I'm here today on my day 2 of unedited videos of just giving you raw how I feel, I want you to really challenge yourself to do something that you are afraid to do, but you're supposed to be doing. See, your blessing is on the other side of your fear. You got to get on the other side of it. I'm so excited. I reached over 800 subscribers, y'all. And when I tell you it has not been easy, I done had a lot of bloopers, and trust me, I'm still going to have a whole lot more of them because most of the time I do not edit out a lot of my bloopers. It is what it is. It just is what it is. It's just, but I want you all to really, really think about that and get past the fact that your family and your friends are not going to always support you the way that you think that they should. They are not your audience. But if God has given you something to bring here to earth, you have an audience that's prepared in this season to receive what it is that he gave you to give. You got to believe that. Whatever God placed inside of you, there's an audience to receive it. Otherwise, there would be no reason for him to give you the gift that he gave you. See, what God gives us is not just for us, it's for his people. And in return of you giving it to his people, it makes room for you. Your gift will make room for you because you are willing to give to God's people the way that he told you to. All right, y'all. That's all I got to give today. I hope that this encouraged somebody else out there that's just like me, that's just starting out, to do, whether it's YouTube, whether it's a new job, whether it's going back to school, whatever it is that's just sitting right there in your heart and in your spirit. I want you to tap into it. Tap into that. That's where you're supposed to be. And stop running away from it. Your audience is waiting for you to deliver to them the package that God has prepared within you to give to them. Take the steps. Do it scared. Do what you have to do. Now, your girl Stella is out. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. I would love to have you a part of my family of stars. But right now, I got to go because I got things to do. And I got places to be, even if I ain't going nowhere at all.